You're the world's highest multi-platinum selling artist of your genre, and another multi-platinum selling artist challenges you to a war of words. To the chanting crowd, hungry for a bloodbath, such a battle is more than just a war of words. To this crowd, it is showmanship and performance.
Your mother was at the game, cardboard colors, fresh signs. My mother was in pain. You want to speak to the inmate, press 9.
It is skill, lyrical ability. It is display of character, recklessness, savagery, and fearlessness, etc. Their expectations for these displays from both of you is at the highest level. So you take up arms, you clean and polish your lyrical swords, and charge into the battlefield. Your confidence in your ability has never wavered, well, except that one time. And this is evident when you get on the stage and call your challenger out, daring him to come out of his hiding hole. However, he takes his time, waits until you retreat, and only then comes out to accept the challenge.
On day 17, he rose. He showed a pulse. Day 17, we got the Kendrick response.
It is lost on the crowd, and it is long forgotten by you, one of the most crucial elements needed to win this battle, needed to win any other battle for that matter, the element that elevates all the other requirements, and that is the quality of your thinking. See, the ability to think clearly, to be still, to consider different angles, to see through your own vulnerabilities, etc. This would be painfully obvious after his victory, where it is revealed that he won based on strategy, on outsmarting you, on anticipating your next move.
Still like, oh, so when your shit coming out? My shit coming out.
Foreshadowing his next moves and beating you at your own game. Now, given that you had been pretty strategic yourself, strategy could not have been the deciding factor. Another element must have been involved, one that only comes as a result of having attained the previous one. The main difference between the both of you was depth, the level of thinking. See, the other could go deeper while you were stuck at the shallow level. A proper way to judge a battle of a war of words is to take each song, go to a room, pretend that the artist is speaking directly to you, listen to the song and see how it makes you feel. Take note of the emotions that you feel. See, when done this way, it is clear that one artist was speaking directly to the soul of the other artist, to the depths of his character, of his being, of what makes him a man. While on the other hand, the other was addressing the crowd and therefore could not penetrate his opponent's internal walls. Frankly, because he lacked insight, he lacked depth. One artist seemed to have had nothing but time and focus, laser focus. And the other seemed to have been rushing for the battle to come to an end so he could go on vacation. The reason for this? Too much noise. Not enough time to sit and think, to go deeper. Not enough time to be a better thinker. Now let's begin. How does one become a better thinker, and why? Why bother yourself with this?
Why?
Now, to be a better thinker, one needs to train their mind to be able to manipulate different concepts, consider ideas from different angles, and accept only those that make the most logical sense. This is a difficult task. One does not just wake up one morning, decide to be a better thinker, and go to bed having achieved that goal. It is a lifelong pursuit, one with very few outward markers of progress. And such progress requires a lot of reading, many conversations, and a lot of writing. one has to find their voice first, a feat that is reached after taking 1,000 steps, but unfortunately only counts as the first step. The question then remains, why strive to be a better thinker, considering the inherent difficulty in pursuing it and the high likelihood for social alienation and the deep loneliness that comes with it? Well, part of the answer is to be found in Arthur Schopenhauer's book, The Wisdom of Life, in which he emphasizes the importance of the subjective over the objective element in life for our happiness. Our internal world, that is the subjective element, consisting largely of our thoughts, conceptions, feelings, emotions, motivations, personality, inclinations, etc. It is at the core of the experience of meaning in life. While on the other hand, the objective outer world, consisting generally of physical possessions and reputation, suffers from being profoundly temporary and unreliable, as it is sensitive to the presence or absence of external stimuli. Yet even possessions and reputation must be felt internally, that is subjectively, to provide the sense of accomplishment that accompanies them. Now, having considered these factors, the outer world can be viewed as a distraction insofar as the internal world has not been developed. Now, to be a better thinker, therefore, means developing the internal world by magnifying one's powers of judgment, discernment, and world representation. This directly impacts what one considers most important to oneself and in life. Attaining possessions and reputation can be, and often is, exciting, enjoyable, and even thrilling. However, it is tragically short-lived. Its permanence is always in question, as it is tethered to events, to others' opinions, that is, to the presence or absence of something other than oneself, such that it cannot immediately be accessed at will. Attaining possessions requires constant momentum and novelty to maintain a sense of excitement, pleasure, and fulfillment. Novelty is always neutralized by experience, by familiarity, and one's threshold for it increases in direct proportion to the frequency at which one attains possessions. It takes more to feel more, and sooner or later, one becomes bored and unsatisfied despite having many possessions. However, when one is a better thinker, one can find fulfillment in merely sitting down, thinking, in reading, in having conversations, etc. One can sit with oneself and ruminate on the heights of human experience, on the deep questions that plague human existence, and find fulfillment in that. One can dedicate themselves to their task, deepen their experience with their craft, whatever craft it is, and enrich their very existence in the moment. Life becomes relatively clearer and less about momentum. One can stop, one is allowed to stop, and sit with himself. This mere act of not running away from oneself alone is a significant achievement, as many people cannot even stand their own company for more than a few minutes before the contents of the will start seeking something to pick up the momentum, something to distract the self from learning and prying more into and about itself. See, a thinker finds pleasure and meaning in thinking. Like a challenging puzzle, they enjoy searching for that elusive piece that will tie everything together. And the joy of finding it cannot be purchased with anything in the objective world. It cannot be translated. It is felt. It is lived. It is meaning. being a good thinker requires meaning and is always available wherever the person goes. When they're naked in the desert, when they have no devices near them, when they have no possessions, they always can rely on what they possess within themselves. They rely not on what they have, but on who they are. This is something to strive for. What else is better than being the source of your own life's meaning? Possessions and reputation can be attained later, and they will mean more when the self has been actualized. But thinking is the base, the foundation. So strive to be a better thinker. Until next time, Bloggers Musings, adding value, one essay at a time.